Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos. Let's get started. So today we are going to create a basic to-do application using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So I have this VS Code as a code editor here, and I have this project folder tutorial demo. Here we will create a file here to make the demo. So let's get started. New file. We give a name here. Let's say the extension is HTML. So from here we can start writing the code. But before that, if you are on a VS Code, come to this extension and make sure to install this live preview. So I have it installed. If you don't have it installed, make sure to install it. It will make your life easier. So we close this one. Now we select this created file here. We go to this show preview. So from here, as you can see, this is the extension which I just went through here. So whatever we have here for the HTML or for the user interface, it will be displayed in this part. So this is the URL. You can even copy this URL and paste it to a browser. So the URL here is the local IP address. This is the port. This is the file name, which is here. So we will see live what we are doing here. So first we will use the HTML structure. We open this angle bracket. You have this exclamation point, and here we will have the HTML element tags. As you can see them, and everything will be between those tags. So we have here head element tag. So we have opening and closing the element tags. So we indent here to make the structure more organized, and here is the title to do app, and this is the link suggestion. For example, if we have the CSS in a different file, this is the way we can link our CSS to this HTML file. But here we will add the CSS inside here. So for that I will just add style element tags here. So we will work on that. Here, before we move on, we can add this attribute lang English. So next we have to come here down below. Here we have this body. Everything inside body element tags should be displayed in this part. So we have this body element tag, and then first what we can do, we can create a div element tag. We can close this div here and start. For example, here we have this suggestion h1 to do app. This is good, we can use it. And then we have this input here, type text, id task, placeholder, enter a task, then button id. We have this add here, then the ul, this stands for unordered list id task. When we save this one, you can automatically see that it will be displayed in this part. So we will take this suggestion and automatically, boom, you can see here. So now we have our header, we have our input field here, we have our button add here. So we have this one, unordered list, to list the tasks which we will create from here. For example, right now if we add ABC here and we press on this, there's nothing happening because we need a JavaScript for that. So what we can do is to come here, change this attribute here. But before we change this attribute, we have here 3 attributes. This type text, which we have to use to input here text. This is the ID here to link the JavaScript here to this one. We will use this value here, and this is the placeholder. When we get rid of this one, you can see the placeholder displayed here, which is coming from this part. So here we will have to add an attribute called onClick. It is event listener attribute. So we will use it so that we can press on this button, add a task. So we will define here a function name which we will use inside the JavaScript part. For example, add task. So next we come down to this, we go outside this div part, and then we create here something called script for the JavaScript part. Here we have this suggestion. Let's see if we will accept it. We just change this var to const. So here, this is the function we have defined here as the value of this onClick event listener. So this is the button here. Whenever it is pressed, it should add a task. So let's see what is inside the function here. We have function add task, then between those, this is the function block here. We have this first variable task equals to this document.getElementById task here, which is also connected here, and this value, it will be the value of whatever we add here as a task name. We can get rid of all those lines here and add an if statement. For example, here, if task, let's see if this one is correct. We go outside here, we close this part. As you can see now, we have this if statement, if task true. So if this one true, then we define a variable here. Again, const tasks equals to this document.getElementById tasks. Then we get this UL here, and we define a list item here, a list item, and here we have this list item variable here called and attached this text content, then equals to the task here. Next we have tasks, which is here, append list items. So we will append whatever we add. When we add the first task, the second, the third, they will be appended here. And here we have this document.getElementById task. So this one is this one, and again the value equals to empty. Well, this part is here to make sure that whenever we add something, then this input field should be emptied to empty string. So let's try this one and see what happens. Let's say API testing, for example, here, and add. As you can see, automatically this input field is emptied because of this part here, and this is being added here, appended from here. When we add something else again, it should be there. Let's say reading. Now we have written. What we can do here better to delete those tasks. One option here is to reload everything. Here, then they are gone. But what if we want to add a button there? Let's say here, when we add this task, we can add a button here to remove or delete what we have here instead of reloading. So for that, we can come to this line here. So we can copy this one and cut it. So here we can add a template literal. There are backticks. So inside those backticks here, we can add a button here to remove every task added. So for that, we need a placeholder here. First we have this $, then between curly braces task here, and then we add a button. So the button will be between those button element tags here. So let me put this one smaller. You can see this suggested line here, button on click equals to this the parent element remove function or method here. Then we have this label here, the name of the button. So we can accept this one and save. Let's see if we add something here, what happens. Coding. So as you can see here, when I add code in here, we have this kind of error, which is printing this line inside here. So we have to debug our code. So to make sure that we don't have this kind of button displayed this way. So to do that, we have to get rid of this text content. We can replace it by inner HTML. So we will see the difference here, and we save again. Let's come back here and write coding. So as you can see now, we have this remove. So this is the label here. We can even add the name delete. So we save here. Then let's say running. And here we go. Now from here, when we press on this one, it should delete this. But before that, let's add something else. Working. Let's delete running here. So as you can see, it's gone, and this is working, and again this is working. But to make things more simpler, we can also, for example, get rid of this way to add a function here. Let me, for example, define a function. Let's say delete task. So we give this function parentheses, and this function argument is this, and we come down below here outside this function. We define that function. So as you can see, automatically I'm getting this suggestion function delete task. Then we have this task here as the argument, task.parent element.remove. So it will do the same thing. So we save this one here. Let's check again, shopping. So now we have this one here. Now then send. And again, let's delete. So as you can see, it is working. So we need to make the user interface more better. As you can see, this doesn't look nice when, for example, we add here then send. You can see this bullet point. So we have to use this CSS here to make sure that we will get rid of this one, and this part should be displayed in the center. To do that, we will use here this div. We will add here an attribute, let's say ID attribute here, and the value here app. So we will use this one as a selector between those style element tags. To use it, we can first add this hashtag app, so it will connect with this one. And as you can see, we have this suggestion app text align center margin top 50 pixels. So let's accept this. Automatically you can see now the alignment. And next we can, for example, add something else to make even better what we have here. This task here, we can use it here. Then we have this task. Wait a minute. So we use this task, and here we have this task. So this will be connected to this one. When we have this display flex, justify content, space between margin 10 pixels. Let's save it and see what's going on here. Doing homework. Let's add this one here. No, this way, the way we added here is not working. So what we can do here, so this strategy here, we can change it. Here we come to this place between those lines here. I can use this list item variable here, like li.class name task. This should work right now. When this is connected to this one, it should help us get rid of those bullet points. Let's save now and see again. Eating here. Now as you can see, we have this task name and we have this delete button, and there is a little bit of styling here, and the layout looks a little bit better. We can add now more tasks if we want, coding, reading here, and so on. We can also delete all of them one by one. As you can see here, we just have 48 lines of code here. We have the HTML, here is the CSS from here to here. This is the main part of the HTML between those divs, and this is the JavaScript part. So as you can see, we have this nice to do basic application here where you can add more and more tasks to do. For example, let's say cleaning here and so on, and you can delete all of them if you want. And if you like this kind of tutorial, don't forget to subscribe and give a like. See you next time. Bye bye.